It was a tempest like no other. The sky, once a serene canvas of blue, had turned into a swirling mass of dark, ominous clouds. The horizon was swallowed by the advancing storm, a monstrous entity that seemed to stretch endlessly. A raging beast of wind and water, it descended upon our ship with a fury that defied description. The winds howled like a chorus of banshees, their icy fingers clawing at our sails and rigging. The sea, whipped into a frenzy, rose and fell with a violence that seemed almost sentient. The ocean, once a familiar friend, transformed into a churning abyss, swallowing the very light of day. The waves, monstrous and unyielding, rose like mountains, their peaks frothing with whitecaps that glowed eerily in the dim light. It was as if the sea itself had turned against us, a once gentle giant, now a wrathful titan. Waves, towering and relentless, crashed over the deck, threatening to splinter the vessel into a million pieces. Each impact sent shudders through the ship, a bone-rattling reminder of the raw power we were up against. The deck was awash with seawater, a chaotic dance of nature's fury. The air, thick with salt spray and the threat of oblivion, crackled with the raw power of nature unleashed. Lightning split the sky, illuminating the scene in brief, blinding flashes. Thunder followed, a deafening roar that seemed to shake the very core of our being. Fear, primal and consuming, gripped the hearts of even the most seasoned sailors among us. Faces, usually hardened by years at sea, were now etched with worry and dread. Eyes scanned the horizon, searching for any sign of reprieve, but finding none. For in that maelstrom, we were but specks of humanity, tossed about by forces far greater than ourselves. The ship, dwarfed by the colossal waves, seemed insignificant, a mere toy in the hands of a vengeful sea. We clung to whatever we could, our knuckles white with the effort. Our sturdy ship, once our sanctuary, groaned and shuddered under the relentless assault. The timbers creaked and moaned, a symphony of distress that echoed through the storm. The sails, torn and tattered, flapped uselessly in the gale. Every timber, every rope screamed in protest as the tempest raged on. The ship's structure, once a marvel of human engineering, now seemed fragile and vulnerable. The ropes strained and snapped, adding to the cacophony of the storm. Time lost all meaning as we fought with every ounce of strength and determination to simply stay afloat. Minutes felt like hours, and hours like days. The storm showed no signs of abating, and we were left to wonder if we would ever see the calm seas again. Each moment was a battle, a test of our resolve and our will to survive.
I saw fear in the eyes of men I thought invincible. These were men who had faced countless storms, battled the fiercest of waves, and navigated through the most treacherous waters. Yet, in that moment, their eyes betrayed a vulnerability I had never seen before. It was as if the very essence of their courage had been stripped away, leaving behind only raw, unfiltered fear.
Confessed Jake, a weathered bosun with decades of experience on the high seas. Jake had seen it all, from the calmest of sunsets to the most violent of tempests. His stories were legendary among the crew, tales of bravery and survival that inspired many. But this time, even Jake, with his vast reservoir of experience, found himself at a loss. His voice, usually booming with authority, was hushed with a lingering tremor. It was a stark contrast to the confident tone we were accustomed to. The tremor in his voice was not just from the cold, but from a deep-seated fear that had taken root in his heart. It was a fear that resonated with all of us, a reminder of our own mortality.
The deafening roar of the wind, a relentless force that seemed determined to tear the ship apart. It howled and screamed, drowning out our shouts and commands. The wind was a living entity, a beast that we had to battle with every ounce of our strength, the bone-chilling cold that pierced even the thickest oilskins. No matter how many layers we wore, the cold found its way in, seeping into our bones and sapping our strength. It was a cold that numbed not just the body, but the spirit as well.
I thought it was the end. The storm was unlike anything I had ever experienced. The waves towered over us, each one a mountain of water, crashing down with a force that shook the very core of the ship. I could see the fear in the eyes of my fellow sailors, a reflection of my own terror. I closed my eyes and prayed for my mother. In that moment of desperation, my thoughts turned to her. seeking comfort in the memory of her warmth and love. It was a fleeting solace, but it gave me the strength to hold on just a little longer.
Young Thomas, still wet behind the ears, remembered the feeling of utter helplessness as he clung to the rigging for dear life. The rigging was his lifeline, the only thing standing between him and the merciless sea. His hands were raw and bleeding, but he held on with a determination that belied his youth. Yet, amidst the terror, stories of extraordinary courage also emerged. Acts of bravery that defied the odds, moments of selflessness that shone like beacons in the darkness. These were the stories that would be told and retold, becoming part of the lore of the sea.
I single-handedly secured a vital hatch when a rogue wave ripped away its cover. It was a moment of pure instinct, driven by the need to protect my ship and my crewmates. The wave had come out of nowhere, a sudden and violent force that threatened to flood the lower decks. But I acted without hesitation, driven by a surge of adrenaline and a fierce determination to survive.
Mary, our quick-witted cook, carried out her actions without hesitation, saving countless lives that day. She was a beacon of calm amidst the chaos, her quick thinking and decisive actions making all the difference. Mary had always been the heart of the ship, her meals a source of comfort and her presence a steadying influence. But on that day, she became our hero. Each crew member, scarred and shaken, carried their own tale of survival, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit in the face of unimaginable adversity. We were a crew forged in the crucible of the storm, our bonds strengthened by the shared experience of facing death and emerging on the other side. The storm had tested us, pushed us to our limits, but it had also revealed the depths of our courage and the strength of our resolve. If you enjoyed this chapter of the Tempest Chronicles, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share our Lens of Life Unframed channel. Your support helps us bring more incredible stories to life. Thank you for watching. The storm may have subsided, but its impact on our souls lingered long after the last wave receded. The calm sea now seemed like a deceptive mirror, hiding the chaos we had endured beneath its surface. Each ripple on the water's surface was a reminder of the tempest that had tested our very limits. The constant rocking of the ship, the howling wind, the fear that clawed at the edges of our minds. These became unwelcome companions, haunting our waking hours and invading our dreams. The relentless force of nature had stripped away our bravado, leaving us exposed to the raw power of the elements. Every creak of the ship, every gust of wind, was a reminder of our vulnerability. We returned to shore forever changed. The land, once a symbol of safety and stability, now felt alien under our feet. Our steps were hesitant, as if we were learning to walk anew. The faces of our loved ones, filled with relief and concern, mirrored the turmoil within us. The familiar sounds of the harbor, the bustling crowds, the comforting solidity of land, all seemed foreign, almost unreal. The cacophony of daily life clashed with the silence we had grown accustomed to, a silence filled with the echoes of the storm. The world had moved on, but we were still caught in the grip of our ordeal. The world had continued spinning while we had been trapped in our watery hell. The contrast between the bustling life on land and the serene yet deceptive sea was stark. It was as if we had been in a different dimension, where time stood still, and now we were struggling to catch up with the present. Some retreated into themselves, haunted by memories they couldn't outrun. The storm had left an indelible mark on their psyche, a shadow that loomed over their every thought. They found solace in solitude, their minds replaying the harrowing moments over and over, searching for meaning in the chaos. Others found solace in the camaraderie forged in the crucible of the storm, their shared experience a bond unbreakable. They gathered together, sharing stories and laughter, finding strength in their unity. The storm had tested their mettle, but it had also brought them closer, creating a brotherhood that would endure long after the waves had calmed. We had looked death in the eye and emerged, battered but not broken. The experience had forged a new resilience within us, a determination to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Our eyes, once filled with fear, now held a steely resolve. We were no longer the same men who had set sail. We were survivors, tempered by the storm, ready to navigate the uncertain waters of the future. Charting a new course, life after the tempest.